Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the White House says it has reached a deal with Congress for a stimulus package to help jolt the struggling economy as the coronavirus pandemic continues. And back here in the Commonwealth, 39 new cases of COVID-19 were announced yesterday, including more here in eastern Kentucky. And with growing concerns about silent carriers, UK health officials want to add new warning signs to the list of symptoms to watch out for.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. The time is now 6 o'clock, and today is March 25th, Hump Day. I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. I know the weather outside. We just want to know when we're going to have that break and that peak of this cloudy weather. I know it's kind of foggy out there, Brandon. You were mentioning earlier, so people need to watch out for that. But we can also watch out for some sun that may be rolling through.
Yeah, for those of you who are traveling today, the few that are left, and then again, the folks who are maybe at home, get those sunglasses ready because I think you'll need them by later today. Let's take a look and see what's going on. The heaviest bands of rain have moved down, but we are going to continue to see a little bit of drizzle or light shower activity early this morning. We're looking at temperatures that are getting into the 40s and 50s, a little bit warmer than yesterday, anywhere between 5 and 10 degrees warmer. 54 down in Jonesville and Jacksboro, 43 up in Moorhead. That's kind of our range this morning. A lot of mid to upper 40s. Across the region, 43 Cincinnati, Louisville, 45 Owensboro, 48 Paducah, but already 50 in Nashville and 52 in the Tri-Cities. 60s where we're heading today will dry out and some sunshine will be on the way a little bit later on. We'll talk about the extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Lacey?
Thank you, Brandon. The White House says it has reached a deal with Congress for a stimulus package to help jolt the struggling economy as the coronavirus pandemic continues. Days of the marathon negotiations have resulted in a $2 trillion proposal, one of the most expensive and far-reaching measures in the history of Congress. While full details have yet to be released, the breakdown looks like this. $250 billion for direct payments to individuals and families, $350 billion in small business loans, and $250 billion in unemployment insurance benefits, and lastly, $500 billion in loans for distressed companies. Another surge in Kentucky as Governor Andy Beshear confirms 39 new cases last night, the state's largest increase since this all started. That brings the state's total to 163. The governor admitted to being frustrated with one of those people who apparently went to a so-called coronavirus party. We learned of 2 new cases in Pulaski County. 4 people have recovered. He also mandated the closing of all non-life sustaining businesses starting Thursday night.
Now, this will not last forever. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel, even though we don't know exactly how far it is away. But as long as we have the strength and the perseverance and the resiliency, we can defeat this coronavirus on the very first try.
And we expect to learn more today about Governor Beshear's order to close all non-life sustaining businesses to in-person services. Again, that order goes into effect tomorrow at 8 p.m. So here's a look at a map of Kentucky. Currently, there are cases in 36 of Kentucky's 120 counties. Most of those are in central Kentucky, but we are beginning to see more positive cases this week in eastern Kentucky. Now, we have added Laurel and McCreary counties to this map. Health officials in both counties have confirmed cases in those counties. And Breathitt County has 2 cases of COVID-19 as of now, and as more are confirmed, some are seeing them get close to home. WYMT's Will Puckett was in Breathitt County yesterday to see how the community is reacting.
The news of cases in Breathitt County shocks many.
It was freaking people out because they never, we've never had nothing like this. It's happened before.
Downtown Jackson is usually bustling with people. On this Tuesday, nearly a soul could be seen walking the streets. Just a lone car passing by on Main Street. Sitting on his porch was Alan Shaw, who says that this is taking a toll on its community.
It's hurt so many communities down here, these small restaurants, and you know, it's just taking them out of the world one by one.
While we do not know the condition of the Breathitt County positive cases, the possible severity of this virus is not lost on this community.
People are just shocked about it. They don't know what to do. Some think the world's ending, and you know, they're just buying all this stuff out of the stores because they don't know what's going to happen next.
But Shaw says Breathitt County is tight-knit, and they've been down these roads before.
This county, you know, we all got together and trying to make it good again.
And they're continuing to work together against a virus that's now in their community.
Shaw says he was getting fresh air on his porch and is practicing social distancing. There is growing concern among health officials about so-called silent spreaders. Those are people who are infected with the coronavirus but are not sick. Some UK doctors are saying there may be a clue as to who's carrying it, and they want it added to the list of symptoms. While people have been asked to watch for a fever, cough, and body aches, doctors say there's something else to look out for.
Many of us working across the globe in areas with rising rates of COVID-19 are seeing a big spike in patients who are otherwise completely fit and well, often under 40, presenting with relatively sudden onset and complete loss of smell and taste.
Professor Claire Hopkins says ear, nose, and throat doctors worldwide have reported more patients with the condition during the last few weeks. Doctors caution these symptoms can be common with other viruses as well, and in the majority of cases, both senses should come back on their own. And Baptist Health is suspending all visitation at its hospital effective immediately. This all allows only essential caregivers to accompany patients for medical appointments or tests. There will be limited exceptions, such as patients under 18 must have a parent or guardian. For women in labor, the father can be present, and in end-of-life situations are also an exception, and dependents who require a caregiver. And as the COVID-19 outbreak impacts many aspects of our daily lives, the way we visit our doctor is also changing. WYMT's Madison program has more on the changes at one local hospital.
FaceTime, Skype.
Just a few ways the ARH Cancer Center conducts visits with patients through telemedicine.
What this avoids is them having to come into contact with other people, having to go to medical offices to be seen, especially for routine visits where we can discuss any symptoms, any problems over electronically.
Linking some of the most vulnerable patients to providers.
We have one of the highest risk populations in the entire area, and so if we can keep our patients from getting infected, then we can really reduce the burden on the community and the burden to the patients as well.
Reaching out to those patients while they stay in the comfort of their home.
Now the restrictions have been lifted, and so we can really use your personal devices at home. You can give consent prior to our actual consultation when we connect with you.
Sam Bailey, an ARH oncologist, says the process goes beyond the actual checkup.
We can see the patients, and we can even send the prescriptions to the pharmacy. That eliminates them having to get a paper prescription.
All with the goal of eliminating those face-to-face interactions.
Medicine was heading this way before, but the corona epidemic has certainly sped up our progress in this.
Innovation meeting needs in times of uncertainty. In Hazard, Madison program, WYMT Mountain News.
And officials with the hospital say to look out for expanded telemedicine services throughout their hospital system. And later this morning, we will have a community discussion on a Facebook Live, Issues and Answers at 11:30. Our own Steve Hensley will be joined by health expert Scott Lockard from the Kentucky River Regional Health Department. We encourage you to watch and to submit your questions, and we will try to get to as many of those as possible. And healthcare workers are not the only people at risk during this time. Senior citizens are considered to be a group most vulnerable to the virus. And in Floyd County, the sheriff's office is using its Coast or Checking on a Senior Today program to make sure the older community is well taken care of. Brady Branham makes calls to her list of seniors 3 times a week, calling to get grocery orders or medicine refills, or just to let them know that they have a friend. As isolation continues in the midst of COVID-19, those calls are more crucial than ever.
And most of them want to talk. Said I'm the only phone call they get during the day. Each one that I talk with has a comment. I'm staying in. You know, if I need anything, I'll let you know.
If you know a senior citizen in Floyd County who would benefit from the program, especially during this time, you can call the Sheriff's Department at 606-886-8965.
Some dense fog this morning in spots, but thankfully the bulk of the rain has moved out. Still a little bit of light drizzle or a light shower across parts of the region, so be careful this morning. 2.5 miles Jackson Hazard, 3 miles in Pikeville, 4 in Prestonsburg, and less than 2 miles there in Logan, so be careful this morning. Temperatures in the 40s, starting to see more 50s though now. 43 Moorhead, 51 Harlan, 54 in Jonesville and Jacksboro, and 52 in Middlesboro and Wise. Mojicast today will clear out, so some nice smiles will be out there. Some hearts for tomorrow because it's going to be a lot of sunshine. Beautiful day, and then scattered chances, but very mild, close to 80 on Friday. Lacey.
Thank you, Brandon. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Of course, we have more news on the way. Coming up, a test could show COVID-19 results in 15 minutes, and it has been approved for use in the United States. We'll have those details coming up.